Welcome to the Shift Your Story, Change Your Life podcast. I'm Allie Rose, certified clinical hypnotherapist and subconscious success coach. I help my clients stop self-sabotage and feel safe to create more wealth, worth, and wellness from within. If you find yourself stuck repeating the same unhelpful patterns in your life, health, business, or relationships, even after all the mindset work, this podcast is for you. Each week, you'll hear deep dives into the hidden beliefs shaping your life and live hypno-coaching sessions where someone shifts a block in real time. Because willpower isn't the problem, your subconscious story is. And when you shift it at the root, everything else begins to change. So let's dive in. Hello. Welcome back to the Shift Your Story, Change Your Life podcast. In today's episode, you're going to hear a live hypno-coaching session with Michelle, who came in to explore a deep block around money, specifically the fear of receiving and holding on to money. As always, we start with conscious conversation, and then you'll hear us drop into subconscious work, the place where scarcity beliefs and old survival strategies are still playing on repeat. For safety and privacy, some parts of the hypnosis portion have been edited, but you'll still hear the full heart of the session. As you listen, I invite you to reflect. Where in your life does receiving money still feel unsafe? What old survival strategy shows up when your invoice sits unpaid? What might shift if you let yourself fully receive instead of resisting? Let's dive in. So, how are you feeling about our session today?
Feeling good. So I'm ready.
Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
So, tell me a little bit about we are going to be focusing on money blocks. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So, tell me a little bit about these money blocks.
Well, it's just okay, as I've been building a coaching business and um, you're dealing with larger quantities of money than I have ever dealt with before. And so it's been interesting to me because um like, when it comes in, I mean, I know exactly what needs to be covered. I have children, they have things that need to be covered, stuff like that. However, um, I don't have any that I've saved back, or I feel like it just goes. And I believe that that just is because I am not managing it well. And so I feel fairly sure that there's some mental thing coming up there. But then also the thought of somebody paying me for the full 6 months of coaching. I had one gal, I thought she was going to pay full for the 6 months. And so what happened was that I was telling the mastermind group that I'm in about it, and I had a lot of feelings about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was very interesting. And just like I felt overwhelmed, I felt like I was not going to be responsible with it. I was, just holding on tightly to it even though it hadn't even come yet. So it was like, oh, I don't want to do anything with that. I want to hold because I'm afraid I'm not going to do it right, all those things. She ended up deciding to pay monthly, which is fine. But it was very telling, what happened within me when I thought she was gonna pay in full.
Right.
And so, um, I feel like there's something there, and I feel like it needs to be addressed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's how we can tell when something is there is when we notice that we're extremely activated by something. And that's what sounds like that's what happened to you, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What we're going to do is we're going to talk to the part of you that has created this. Are we saying, are we want to call it a money block, or do we want to call it the part of you that feels unsafe receiving and holding money? Like, what feels most true for you?
I think it's probably the receiving and holding on part more than a money block.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I always like to get clarity because language is important. And so I want to talk to whatever the specific part of you. And a lot of people feel like they have blocks, right? And maybe it's part of a bigger money web, right?
Yeah.
Or money story, right? Okay. So tell me a little bit more about your family history, how you grew up, and maybe your parents' relationship with money.
Okay. So my parents, my mom and my dad were together until I was 4, and then they got divorced. And then mom was a single mom, obviously, until I was 8. And then she remarried and my dad remarried also. We moved 6 hours away from where my dad was, and then moved into a nice house with a stepdad. He was very much about money. He was very much about the way things looked. I believe he's a narcissist. And so, everything had to look good. And then we lived there for 3 years, and then we moved farther away from my father, 10 hours away. So I would go see him in the summers and then every other big holiday,
Mhm.
um, until I was 16. And then when I was 16, I started working, and I didn't go to visit him anymore.
Mm.
Then I graduated. My mom and stepdad moved to New York, and I went to back to Kansas to where I was going to go to school. And then there was a lot of moving and a lot of stuff that happened after that. So I tried to think about my dad with money. He's a very frugal man.
Mhm.
He very, very tight with his money. He had the things, I mean, we had the things that we needed. Uh, I don't remember him ever telling me he couldn't afford anything.
Mhm.
Um, but he was just very tight with money. My mom and my stepdad, it seemed like we had nice things. I don't really remember them talking much about money,
Mhm.
but I remember, I don't think this is wrong, but, when I wanted to have different clothes and stuff, or shoes that were not necessary, then, they would be like, "That's expensive," you know? Think I felt like my needs weren't important.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
So I carry that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my kids always tell me, "Go get something for yourself." And I'm like, "I have to make sure you're taken care of first."
Mhm. Yeah. And you have how many kids? 4?
I have 5 children. 2 of them are in their 20s, and then the other 3 are home still, and they're all teenagers now. That happened Sunday. They all became teenagers.
Right. 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 Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I can see obviously that that's still very alive there, right? That, like, not feeling that you were important, right? Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with me. I feel like maybe there's a tie there to what's going on, but we'll see, right, what comes up. I really just fully believe that our subconscious will show us. Is there anything else that you feel like would be important for me to know?
Um, in my 2nd marriage, I was married for 18 years.
Mhm.
Um, I I didn't get the new things. Um, if he picked out something new, he picked it out and he brought it to me. And then I just didn't care. And I would just take it. That, like, if a new computer needed to be had, he got it, I got his hand me down. I was always getting hand me downs for the kids or secondhand shopping for the kids, trying to make everything last. He always had the best of the stuff. But I is a stay-at-home mom, so I figured I didn't deserve it or it.
Mhm. Yeah.
I needed to do my part to make things work and save as much money as I could so that we could make it that we could pay our bills and everything.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah, which in some ways kind of just reinforces the original story from your childhood, right?
Right.
That your needs aren't important, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Do you feel ready to dive in?
I'm like, I may be a sobbing mess the whole time, and if that's not okay, it's okay to tell me that too.
It's totally fine. It's absolutely fine. So
Uh,
I feel like we need to allow all of this stuff to release. It's important that all of this stuff comes up so that we can clear it because we're holding it inside of us, right? All these emotions, all of these different stories. It's not like they're just under the surface. It's not like they've gone away because clearly these are things that happened years and years and years ago, but clearly they still are living somewhere within
yeah,
you. And so I feel like it's important for you to release them. And oftentimes the way that we release them is through tears. So you're all good. Okay. Okay. Do you have any questions for me before we dive in?
I don't think so.
Okay. So, what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to go ahead and take a deep breath in first. Okay. And now I want you to look up as if you were trying to look into your own eyebrows. That's perfect. Keeping your eyes glued to a real or imagined spot overhead. Just breathe in and out. Take another deep breath. Breathe in and out. And each time you blink, that's hypnosis coming upon you. And just one final time, take another deep breath in. And as you exhale, just close your eyelids right down, all the way down. So just one more time, go deeper, drift deeper, sink deeper, at least 100 times deeper. That's perfect, Michelle. You are responding perfectly, exactly as I knew you would, because I already know that you are incredibly open, receptive, and suggestible, and your mind is incredibly powerful. So I want you to go ahead and take a deep breath in. And now we're going to explore this part of you that feels unsafe receiving and holding money. So I want you to just imagine that you've gone inside yourself. You're still Michelle, but you've turned your eyes inward and you found the part of you that feels unsafe receiving and holding money. I want you to scan your body for a moment. And when you find that part of you, I want you to tell me, where do you hold this part of you in your body?
Feel it in my chest.
Okay. And I want you to just imagine that you are able to reach into your chest and pull that part out of you, and you're looking at it. You're placing it in front of you. And I want you to tell me, what does this part of you look like? Does it have a color, texture, shape, or size?
Like a gross blob. And it's got like red and orange and yellows in it.
Mm, okay.
And it's squishy.
Hmm. Okay. And tell me, how do you feel about this part of you? What emotions does it bring up for you?
Despair.
Despair. Mm. And you feel despair because
Worth taking care of.
Mhm. Yeah. So happy. I want you to go ahead and take a deep breath in. I want you to look at that part of you that we pulled out of your chest. And I want you to ask that part of you, what is your role in my life? Why are you here?
I don't know if I can access that. It's like nothing's what is your role in my life? To make you fight.
Okay. I want you to ask that part of you, why do you need to make me fight?
To stand up for yourself.
Mm. Okay. You're doing great, Michelle. I want you to go ahead and I want you to ask that part of you that feels unsafe receiving and holding money. What is your function in my life? How are you helping me?
Making you strong.
Mm. And I want you to ask that part of you, why do you need to make me strong?
You don't believe.
Okay. Go ahead and take another deep breath in. And I want you to ask that part of you, what is your purpose in my life?
It's your purpose in my life. Um, to make you strong.
Mm. Okay. And I want you to ask it, why do you need to make me strong?
Lord, because you have to be able to handle the power.
Hmm. Okay. I want you to ask that part of you, what is your only intention in my life?
To help you.
I want you to ask it, how are you helping me?
Purifying you.
Purifying you? Mhm. Okay. Now I want you to we're going to be really direct with this part. I want you to ask this part of you, why do you feel unsafe receiving and holding money?
There's something about selfishness there
Okay.
and power.
Okay.
I don't feel like the selfishness is like me, I know I can be selfish. I don't feel like that's where it's coming from, though.
Mm. You have any idea where it's coming from or what it's talking about when it says selfishness?
So the thing that keeps going through my head is about my stepdad.
Mm, mhm. Yeah. Okay. So now I want you, the part of Michelle that feels unsafe receiving and holding money, to tell me what was going on in Michelle's life when you first came into her life.
When my mom got remarried and we moved, it was the nicest house we'd ever lived in,
Mhm,
and that was cool.
mhm.
But it's like, that's when my mom left me
Mm,
because of her loyalty to him. So we got a lot of really great things. I lost her.
mhm. Yeah. And you were about 8 years old, yes?
Yes.
What did that cause Michelle to believe about herself, the world, or other people when at 8 years old, they moved to be with her stepdad into this beautiful house? What did that cause her to believe about herself, the world, or other people?
Money's gross.
Money's gross?
Felt gross there. And not like I'm gross, but just like it was gross around me.
Mm. Yeah, did you say initially money is gross? Yeah. Any other beliefs that it brought up about money when that happened?
I feel like my mom sold out.
Mm.
She made money more important than us.
So, Michelle, I want to ask you, how do you feel about this now? Is it working for you to feel unsafe receiving and holding money?
No,
Why is it not working for you?
the way I view it now isn't working
Mhm.
because it's almost like there's a franticness there. I have to make sure that my kids know that they're important. I have to make them, or I have to show them that I will give away all my money to make sure that we're cared for
Mhm.
and that they get to do the things they want to do.
Mhm. Mhm.
Sometimes even at the cost of not paying a different bill so that I can make sure that they're cared for.
Right. You see that like a frantic giving away? Do you see where that comes from? Right. So you can see now that you came up with this part of you as an 8-year-old and understand why it happened, right? Because
Yeah.
when you were a young girl, you watched your mom, in your words, as you said, sell out and not prioritize what really mattered for money. So now, when you receive money, there's a part of you that equates that with being gross, being a sellout, not prioritizing what really matters. And it's like you're fighting against yourself because you know that you need the money to care for yourself and your kids. But there's this part of you that feels like if you receive it and keep it, that might mean that you are gross or a sellout or not prioritizing, right?
Do struggle to tell my kids no,
Right.
even
So,
when it's best for them.
right, right. But the beautiful thing about this is that you came up with this part of you. I feel like it was a draw a line in the sand moment for you as a little girl. That you came up with it. Now you can let it go because you're not 8 anymore, right? So I want you to go back to when you were 8 years old, when it first came into your life, and I want you to tell me and tell that part, how are you different now than when you were 8 years old? What's different about you in your life?
Now I'm the one calling the shots.
Mhm.
I'm the one in charge.
Mhm.
And I promise I'll take care of you. I take care of my children. I always make sure that we have what we need.
Right. How are you different than your mom?
My mom's very cold. She's got a good face on as far as she shows up in a compassionate way um, when she needs to, but her relationships are fairly shallow,
Mhm.
and she did sell out. I didn't.
Right.
I don't.
Yeah. So you're different. You're not cold. Your relationships are deeper. If you didn't sell out, you don't sell out.
I'm I feel like she just kind of let herself be drug along too, and I don't do that.
Right.
I do, but I don't.
Right. So really what we're doing is we're showing this part of you like, "Hey, thank you so much. You came in to keep me safe, protect me from becoming like my mom around money, but I'm actually really different than my mom." Right?
Yeah.
So I want you to call this part of you to mind again, and I want you to ask this part of you. Well, let me ask you first. Are you ready to let this part of you that doesn't feel safe receiving and holding money, are you ready to let it go? Okay. And I want you to ask this part of you, what does it need from you in order to feel safe and ready to leave? Is there something that you can be doing that would make it feel safe and ready to leave?
Trust me that I'm smart and I'll do the right thing because I will, and I've shown that.
Yeah. Does it feel ready to leave?
So
Good. All right. I want you to just imagine looking at that part of you again. And I want you to go ahead and repeat after me. Thank you for helping me the way you did.
thank you for helping me the way you did.
It's had a very powerful impact on my life.
It's had a very powerful impact on my life.
You've been protecting me for so many years,
Been protecting me for so many years.
but now you're free to go.
Now you're free to go.
I don't need you in the same way anymore.
I don't need you in the same way anymore.
I'm not like my mom.
I'm not like my mom.
And now I want to give you a minute to see what you need to see, feel what you need to feel, and say anything else that you might need to say to that part in order to let it go. And let me know when you're done.
Please figure it out. You don't have to worry. It's okay to
Has anything shifted within your body where you were holding that part?
yes. Um, I feel I've got this. Got this. It's what is coming up.
Okay. Okay. Now I want you to just go back to that little girl, the 8-year-old you who created this part. I want you to just bring an image of her to your mind. And I want you to imagine yourself as the adult that you are now stepping into wherever she is. And now, Michelle, I want you to just say anything and everything that she needs to hear. What does she need to know?
You didn't feel loved, but I love you. And I'm going to take care of you now. And I will make you a priority. You're so important. And you're the neatest little girl.
Yeah. And part of loving her and protecting her and taking care of her is feeling safe to receive and hold on to money, right? Okay. Now I want you to picture that small child, the younger you, hovering just above your head. See them now slowly descending down, dropping down, merging into your body, merging into your heart, merging into your life now. You feel that child fully merged within you now. They are never ever going back because the child, the little you, is now taking up residence in you as an adult. They are free now. They've had a massive upgrade into your life. The past is behind them and behind you. You are not your past, and you are free now to be the person, the adult that you choose to be. And go ahead and take a deep breath in as you feel that little 8-year-old you emerging fully into you now, where she will be taken care of by you. So, on the count of one, you're becoming more aware. On the count of two, you're aware of the room and the sounds around you. On the count of 3 and 4, you're taking in a deep breath. And on the count of 5, whenever you feel ready, you can open your eyes and come back to the room. How are you? Good. How was that for you?
It was good.
Good,
Yeah, very insightful.
good, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did anything surprise you or?
Um, I've known that was there, and I did ART therapy with it, and it's not that that didn't start moving it, but I mean, sometimes we have to visit things a few times.
Absolutely.
before they wedge themselves all the way out.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for trusting me to guide you through that process. I hope that it was helpful. I hope it helped give you some clarity and move things a little bit more for you.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Bye. I want to offer a huge, heartfelt thank you to Michelle for her courage in shining a light on what so many of us carry, the tug of war between wanting abundance and fearing it at the same time. What I loved about this session was how clearly it showed that the parts of us protecting against too much money are often trying to keep us safe from shame, judgment, or childhood scarcity wounds. And the best part, what was learned can be unlearned. As you let this episode land, here are a few questions to sit with. Where are you still holding money at arm's length to feel safe? What belief did your younger self pick up about earning, receiving, or deserving? And what would it look like to welcome abundance as an act of self care, not risk? If something stirred in you today and you're ready to explore your own money story, head to shiftyourstorypodcast.com or click the link in the show notes to book a free connection call to see how we can work together and what's possible for you. I hope this episode was helpful, and I'm sending you so much love and gratitude. Until next time. Bye. Thank you so much for joining us today for this episode of the Shift Your Story, Change Your Life podcast. If today's conversation sparked something in you, I'd love to hear about it. Feel free to send me a message on social media. I'm at the Allie Rose on both Facebook and Instagram. And if you want to be coached on a future episode or explore what it would look like to work with me one-on-one, head over to shiftyourstorypodcast.com. And if you never want to miss an episode, make sure to subscribe and leave a rating and review. It helps more people find this work. Until next time, keep shifting, keep growing, and most importantly, I want you to remember that your story isn't set in stone. You always have the power to shift it.